I really did like how Devin's played it too. You know, like he wasn't defensive. He just had comebacks, if you will.
Yes.
Because I think he can't just play it totally cool, but he can at least play it off.
Yes.
And he stayed in good humor.
I agree. Well, what did you think about Emily's conversation with Ozzy?
I just feel like he did a good job. I mean, she did too, but now she's basically, quote unquote, betrayed him twice.
Yes.
So why would he ever believe her again?
Exactly.
I think they both were playing their parts, but I don't think either one of them is kind of trust the other one.
I agree. Well, I thought it was wise of her to just confess. She had a day one alliance with Christian and Devins. Now it's out there. Hopefully Ozzy puts her in the right category. And like she said, it's nothing personal. No. It's just Survivor.
Yeah, and I think he stopped taking it personally. So
Yes. Did he call Devin's stabby backstabber McDevin?
Yeah. And then even Devin's going, I'm playing my best version of Rizzo. He's just, they're not angry. But this is the only way that Rick knows how to play. This is how he had to play his first game. So he's experienced with this. And I think it's just, he's going to keep causing chaos.
Yeah.
So, I was listening to Kelly Wentworth do a podcast earlier this week, and she was basically saying, I hated playing with Rick, but I love watching him on TV when I was on the jury.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see that.
Yeah. I mean, if I were out there, I think Rick would be annoying too. It's just something about him. He's like that little gnat that you just want to kill, but he just keeps buzzing around your ear. But like you said, fun to watch, but to try to strategize with or against, I don't know.
So what did you think of his strategy when fessing up about the idol?
Yeah, I thought it was smart. I mean, I think we talked about this over the weeks. People probably know it's fake, but I thought it was a good idea to just come clean about it and take the target off your back in terms of let's just put votes on Devin so we can flush this idol. I mean, still a target, but at least, people aren't trying to flush a fake idol that you can't even protect yourself with.
So I think he is smarter than other people, where it was the saying this is fake, but also saying the strategy behind it. Saying I'm not just putting this out there. I want you to think about me as a number to use and don't waste it on me.
Exactly.
So at least he puts that, inception that into their brains.
Yes. Yeah. I thought he did a good job with that, how he played it all out. I wasn't sure how it was going to come together when he hit it, but now that I've seen it, I'm like, okay.
No, it played its purpose enough.
It did, totally. Good job, Devin.
We anything before the auction?
No.
All right, I was excited. The auction's back, and it was a fun little montage.
Yes.
But I did like how he clarified you won't lose your vote.
Right.
Which I did not like in the new era seasons where where you basically had to spend the money.
Exactly. And I like the chaos and comfort component of the auction. That was pretty.
Well, we definitely weren't going to forget chaos and comfort because I think Jeff said it 17 times.
17 million times.
Yeah.
I know.
I loved Emily's comment after her shake. Did you pick up? She's like, I'm going to poop my brains out later after eating this.
I know. But I thought the same thing. I'm like, her stomach is going to be so jacked up.
Yeah.
She said it. I would not recommend milk-based products when you've been on Survivor for more than 2 weeks.
Understood. The dairy will definitely mess with you. What about grubs and bugs, though? How do they mess with your stomach?
Oh, my gosh. Oh, well, I did an auction my second season, and I had to eat balut, which is the half-formed duck embryo egg. I ate 2 tarantulas. The auction. I would say I think it was harder for them, the grubs and what Jonathan had to eat, that sea slug.
So crispy.
Right, because immunity wasn't on the line. It's different in the Survivor Gross Food Challenge when immunity is on the line, right? But to just do it in an auction scenario, I don't think I could have done it.
That's why I think it was a good strategy on the producers to have it tied with someone else.
Yes.
I don't want this person
to.
Right.
Yes.
It's the same
because
thing.
No one would do that.
Right. On immunity challenge ones, that's why it's harder. like you said, if it's a tribal one, then it's like I can't let my tribe down.
I can't let my tribe down.
And
right.
if it's an individual immunity, then like I need to win.
Exactly.
So in this, they're like, okay, well, the only motivation to eat it is
to put two people together and say, yeah. And I thought, Jonathan got the short end of the stick with the sea slug because it was a fall on the sword type situation, whereas Aubrey and Rizzo was more so, Aubrey's like, I'm doing this for both of us, where Jonathan did it just for Ozzy.
It seemed like there was a lot more food than usual. I mean, they just were doing a montage. They had to get through it so quickly.
I'm like, man, like Jeff kept putting things up. I love when Aubrey asked at the beginning, okay, how many items are there?
And I thought that was, it's the same thing, and Stephanie asked stuff later and through it. I mean, like that's, repeat players who are like, I'm not going to be shy about it. I'm going to try to get you to tell me.
Exactly. And what I was surprised though about that there was no advantage. Normally in the auction, people are saving their money for an advantage. That
was what I wrote down of like, should Rick have done that right off the bat? Or did they just assume that there wasn't going to be an advantage?
Yep. I thought the same thing. The moment Devin started spending money and the moment Emily started spending money, I'm like, okay, probably not an advantage situation. Yeah.
Because that would be my thing, like, just hold on to the money till the end.
Exactly. And now all these Survivor chefs have made this great food and people are not buying it.
Right.
So it all worked out. I loved it.
It was a lot of fun. Like, I know they montaged through a little bit, but I think it was even Sari, booting and rallying.
I know. I call it the Ralph and Rally.
Yeah.
She's like, I'll be right back.
Right.
And she comes back, she picks up her big tray and she goes back at it. I love it.
So what would you, the letters from home, that could come out.
Yes.
What is your thoughts on letters from home versus a loved one's visit?
Ooh, and I got both.
Right.
The letters from home hit so differently because one, they're from multiple family members, right? As many as your family members that want to say something. And it comes right in the time, and this season is no different. It comes right at a time where you're like kind of getting to empty in terms of like your energy and your enthusiasm. But once you get those letters, it's just a reminder of why you're out there. And it gives you like that last little boost to push through the rest of the game. So I thought it was great timing since they're almost at the end. Those letters, they bring tears to your eyes.
No, I can only imagine. I was on a retreat a year and a half ago, and I was only gone from my family for 2 days without a phone, and then we got surprised with letters, and I was just bawling my eyes out.
Right?
I can only imagine how it's been when you're out there starving for 20 days. 4
or 5 weeks, 6 weeks. Yeah. Oh man, those things come through. But I thought it was a great touch, and I was glad everybody got letters. Sometimes on Survivor,
that's harsh.
Yeah, not everybody gets a letter.
I think they wanted, it's the same thing. They saw the impact on season 40 where everyone sees their loved one, and then just being able to get the footage of everyone, I think, adds to the emotional impact.
Exactly. So would I rather have a letter or a live visit? I think the letter would be my preference, again, because you maybe get it from your mom and then your sister and your kids, whereas the loved one's visit is usually just one person, right? So I think I'd rather get the letters. Mm-hmm. And then when the loved one comes, it's kind of hard to let them go.
Right.
The
letters you can reread.
Exactly. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Mr. Beast comes out. I didn't think it was an overload of Mr. Beast, so
yes,
I thought it was okay.
I agree.
But I just, I knew that as soon as they announced it, I was like, this is going to be a live tribal. Like,
yes.
No matter what. It was like, no matter how they're going to prepare, like 100%. They can't, and it's going to be crazy.
Oh, yeah. So, like Zach Brown consumed the whole episode. Is that what you're saying? Like, it was just enough.
Mm-hmm. And even when he came back at the end, he has the experience of not making it about him.
Yeah.
And he, even when he was talking, he was bringing it back to them and even asking questions.
Agreed.
So I thought it was fine, just the right amount of chaos.
Yes.
And then adding chaos going right to the immunity challenge.
Yeah. But was it interesting that just turning a briefcase around could cause havoc on the island?
Well, I mean, beware has to be a trigger word for all Survivor players now.
Yes. All it said was beware, and then it went nuts. So I just love that.
But yeah, would you say? I mean, they didn't. I think they wanted the time to go back, process, and then do an immunity. And by like not even giving them that much time, it even hurt even more.
Oh my gosh, I felt so bad for them. I'm like, first of all, you're emotional. You got these letters. You've eaten this food. Stomach's probably jacked up. Now I have to go to an immunity challenge,
right?
And then you don't know what it is. So you're like, is it physical? Am I swimming? Am I endurance? You don't know.
If it was going to be swimming or endurance, I think we would have seen a lot more Ralph and Rally.
Agreed.
And I saw that, and my question is like, I don't know. Everyone was pretty much doing, palms face up.
Yes.
But I didn't know if it would be better if you thought, like one up, one down. I think it'd be too hard to do palms down.
Yeah. I could see how your way would work, but I was thinking, because this was a similar challenge that I did with the ball on top of the platform, and what I noticed was that people were correcting like this, which is not the right way to actually correct in that challenge. Your action should be more like this.
They're trying to keep it center.
Exactly. So if the ball is beginning to roll, it's easier to control in this direction than this direction.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I saw Joe do it a couple of times. I'm like, he's got it. And I think I saw Ozzy do this motion more than this. But once you start doing this,
everybody just
either
went
way,
off.
it's gone, right? Yeah. So I'm like, and here's the thing about those Survivor challenges, there is usually a key. And Jeff mentioned this too. He's like, there's always a perfect way to do these challenges. If you figure it out, you're good. He was like, even digging holes, there's a sweet spot, or the way you hold something is a sweet spot. So I'm like, most people, if you're playing Survivor, ask yourself, like, what's the sweet spot in the challenge? If you can master that or discern it, then you'll probably win.
The sweet spot.
There's a sweet spot.
I think Jeff keeps jinxing Ozzy, talking about trying to tie the record. I mean, like, if he could just be quiet, I think he would have won.
I know. So much pressure on Ozzy. I hope he gets it, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't think they'd keep mentioning it if he didn't. But I thought this was one of his where he could have won. I mean, he almost won.
Yes, he almost won.
But, bully for a tiff. And that was a nice little tidbit that she wanted to get past.
Day 19. Yeah. Yes. And I think that's a very valid point. When you play Survivor for the second time, obviously you want to do better than you did your first time. But when you get over that hump, it's emotional. Like, yeah, I made it.
Yeah. And then we had a lot of emotion back at camp with everyone's letters, especially that, like, hearing that from Sari, that was the first letter she ever got from her dad. That's crazy.
I know. I was like starting to tear up, and she's like, I'm 54. I've never gotten a letter from my dad. I'm like, aw. Yeah, it was sweet.
No, I do love all the letters from home, and it gives people, like you said, like you are reminded of, I'm playing for these people while I have connections to these people on the beach that I'm with. It's like, I'm not playing for them.
That's a good point.
So I'm wondering if that's really what spurred Jonathan on to, like, okay, I got to play harder now.
That is a really good point. And you do. They're strangers to you. It's essentially, they're strangers, and you have no loyalty to them. The people that wrote you those letters, that's who you're really loyal to, right? So. Yeah,
so I don't know why everyone just keeps focusing on Ozzy, because it just is to everyone's ruin.
I know. Anytime someone brings up Ozzy's name, I'm like, don't tell Sari. Yeah. Do not tell Sari.
I mean, like you said, everyone was talking to everyone, but I really did. There was a couple shots where I could see, like, where Sari was talking about when Steph was talking to her, like, she's not making eye contact.
Yes.
And then there were other times where people were talking, like Jonathan specifically turned to Emily and was like, yes.
Uh-huh.
So he was like, eye contact has to be key.
Right. But Jonathan, let's talk about Jonathan. He lied to Stephanie. That's what kicked it all off for me, when he's like,
Ozzy said your name.
Yeah, Ozzy said your name. And she's like, what? And you could see it flip. And then Jonathan's like, well, I mean, I kind of embellished that. But then, like, okay, so here's my thing on Survivor. Verify, verify, verify. I think they're at the point in the game where you can discern, like, who's probably not shooting it straight with you. Stephanie could have easily gone to Ozzy and said, hey, question, because they've been tight the whole time. Why would she not go to Ozzy and confirm what Jonathan just said?
And I'd also, my follow-up question from Stephanie would have been, he's like, when did you tell you this? A couple days ago. Like, why are you only telling me now?
Yes.
This is the thing that keep asking the follow-up questions.
Yes. And again, I know they're tired. They're under an immense amount of stress. So like,
hey, they just ate.
Yeah. So now they're in a food coma, right? And so I get it. I understand like the environment, but when you play Survivor, confirm. If anybody tells you anything, you have to figure out. And what I would do, I bring the two people together. I got Jonathan here and I got Ozzy here, and I'll be like, Jonathan, tell me what you just said about Ozzy. Because we're getting down to the end, you have to verify information at this point.
So do you think, I mean, the montages of everyone, the plan's changing nonstop. I was like, do you think everyone was more okay with not having it set because they knew that no matter what they did, there could be a bomb blown up anyway?
Yeah, I think if the Mr. Beast situation wasn't in play, it would not have gone down like that.
Right.
Yeah, I think everybody had to talk to everybody just in case, since they didn't know what the circumstances would be. So
I wrote down at this point, like, I was worried that Suri was going to go home with like another type of advantage get in, where like everyone was going to play their idols, everyone was going to play their votes, and then Suri would get but there were way more people now, so it wouldn't work out that way.
Yes, true.
And there's still no other idol,
I know.
No one's found it, or
no one's looking for it.
Yeah, I don't. You think we would have at least seen? But I don't know that they're only going to show us the stuff that's impacting the plot.
So true.
But come on,
true.
Rick.
I know. Yeah, I'm surprised about that, which is another reason why I was expecting an idol clue in the auction.
Right.
Just because we need another idol. But
So, yeah, it comes up, Tribal Council.
Okay.
I look at the time left. I'm like, there's 30 minutes left of the episode still. I'm like, is this all going to be Tribal? I'm like,
yes.
And that is why, I was like, oh, this is going to be a really crazy Tribal Council, just with knowing that it was that long of an episode already, and the full last 30 minutes are going to be Tribal Council. But as I said before, Rick only knows how to play from the bottom. Like, that's his experience. So he's like, I'm just going to go crazy.
Go crazy.
And then just like at the end of the day, do they come back? Like, who are they gonna believe?
Right.
Like, when they come back.
I was watching with a friend of mine, and she asked, would you have done that? I'm like, that was actually very smart of Devin.
For the position he's in.
For the position, right, exactly. I thought it was masterful. And he's like, and he kept saying, I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
Suri, I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
And Jonathan is just totally in the corner like, please do not out me. And I don't know why Stephanie didn't out him.
Right. And that's the other thing where it's like you're automatically on the defensive. It was like, why you could have, like, I would go back on the offensive back at him.
100%. 100%.
But everyone always assumes, like, I don't know why everyone assumed people are going to keep quiet when everyone's talking to everybody about everything.
Exactly.
So why you assume anyone's going to keep a secret?
Exactly.
So my question, if you can remember, is, Mr. Beast comes out.
Yes.
Is that the first time an outsider has been at Tribal Council?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I believe so.
I mean, we've talked about a lot of celebrities this season at Tribal Council, but I can't remember a time when
I think
someone
you're
else.
right. It's such a sacred space
for
survivors only.
Luckily, he was, deferential to Survivor. So what were your thoughts when the Beast was revealed?
When it was revealed, I loved it. I mean, I think my jaw hit the floor. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I was so happy. I loved it.
People were talking about before the season that they thought the prize money should have been bigger. Obviously they had this plan from the beginning.
Yes.
And it was a really fun twist.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that, then Jeff was kind of dragging it out because they thought it was going to be a longer process of fighting over who was going to do it.
Yeah.
And they're like, we got to stretch this out a little bit more.
Right. And he even said, he's like, why we didn't think anybody would volunteer to take this. But did you think Devin's was the perfect person to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's a win-win for everyone there. It's like they wanted to get rid of him if he goes. If not, they have, like a few other targets that they can go after.
Right.
And then, they double their money. So I don't think that many, I could understand Aubrey's concern.
Yes.
But it turns out it was okay.
Right.
But I think Rick laid the groundwork of like this is the problem. And knowing that Sri already was angry at Stephanie, like I think it was a win-win for everybody.
If Rick didn't do it, do you think Stephanie or Aubrey would have been willing to?
I think Aubrey would have gone for it. I think she would have played big. I just don't think Stephanie would have done it.
Yeah.
I think she was relying too much and thinking that she had to steal a vote anyway.
Right.
That it was going to be okay.
True.
Like that's why I think she did the wrong move of stealing Rick's vote.
Yes.
Because I think it would have been more chaotic if she just would have stolen. But she was trying to, I think, smooth things over and not piss anybody else off on the off chance that they all did it.
So just so I make sure I understand correctly, the idol that Devin's got was to be played in the future, even though he was safe.
I don't know. That's the thing.
I didn't understand
no one
that.
questioned it. Like he said he was immune tonight and then given it and put it into his pocket. So that's I wrote that down. Does Rick have an idol? Because then you see in the preview him like jumping up and fist pumping.
Right.
Like, I think he was immune and also gets an advantage.
Given an idol. Yeah.
And I wonder if anyone's going to question him on that.
Right. And just like, you can look at that at your leisure.
Yeah.
I thought that he had to play it when Jeff says, does anybody have an idol? Like, I thought that he had to play it.
But he's basically said, like Tiff and Devins are immune.
Right.
He didn't say like he has to play his idol.
He has to play his idol.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'm thinking that he now has a real idol that he doesn't have to worry about. And I'm wondering if anyone will pick up on that or not.
Well, which would make sense because we're saying that there should be a third idol in play. Since Aubrey played hers, maybe this is back into play. Right. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Would you have flipped if you were in Rick's spot?
100%. Season 50, we've already played before. We're returning players. Go big or go home at this point, especially if you're on the bottom.
Right.
I'd be flipping. But Rizzo, was it Rizzo that told him to choose tails, the torch side?
Yeah.
I think it was Rizzo. And then he's like, nah, my kids love Mr. Beast. I'm going heads.
Yeah. I was like, luckily. But that was the other thing where I paused it as he was about to do it. I'm like, there's 10 minutes left. He hits.
Yep.
And I was like, he has to hit.
He has to hit.
I'm like, oh, yes, he does. Just got to pay attention to how much time's left in the episode.
Oh, it was so good. And even the coin is like, let me get on this action.
Yeah.
The coin's like, I'm not just going to fall. I'm going to roll around.
I wondered how they were going to do the shot of it. Like, I don't know if they were going to have to flip it and then the camera was going to be there.
Yeah, I agree.
Or if it was going to be like, camera ready, like Bachelor style when they open up the ring box. But it was fun. They were like,
just let it roll.
Get down and look down at it.
Jeff's looking.
And thank goodness for that little tuft of grass there.
Oh my gosh, that helped.
Put it on to the beast head.
The Survivor gods, when they're on your side, they are on your side, and they're on Devin's side.
Yeah, but I thought it was a good amount of Mr. Beast. I don't think they overdid it. And then he even left before, and like I said, he was asking questions. So I was not upset about the Beast twist.
I agree.
And it didn't do anything.
Nope.
And I also loved the. Like all the comments you were seeing from the jury members, like Christian was saying, like, "Oh, I would have loved to have been a part of this," or like, "Oh, this is so entertaining," which we don't, like you said, you don't often see because you're watching.
And they seem like a happy jury. Like sometimes they are scowling and rolling eyes, but they seem like they've even embraced Coach because Dee could not stand Coach, but it seems like they're all talking. But I can only imagine.
Food and drink now.
I was going to say, I can only imagine the drinks are flowing at Ponderosa. So, yeah, they're friends.
But yeah, I think Steph playing the steal a vote on Devins, that was trying not to ruffle anybody else's feathers.
Right.
Didn't work. I was kind of going back and forth on, okay, is it actually going to be Aubrey or is it Stephanie? Because we got so much Aubrey story this episode. Yeah. I was like, oh, is this going to be like, her mac and cheese vote out moment?
Exactly. And to see the votes that everyone voted for Steph. So again, it just supports the fact that they're all talking. Everybody's talking.
Right. So that's the thing. Do you think the target is on Jonathan now?
It should be. It totally should be. But who's going to say what happened? Stephanie's gone, so she can't say he totally lied.
Yeah, I just think, the fact that everyone voted for Stephanie means maybe they were, believing Rick. I mean, Suri knew Stephanie was lying from the beginning because Suri just knows everything.
Yeah.
And so before I thought it was going to be like the two groups basically then going after Rick and Emily, just to make it easy.
Yeah.
So now I think that's fractured.
Right.
But then who does Joe go with?
I don't think Jonathan is the biggest threat in the game, though. I still think the biggest threats are, outside of there's so many alliances, but I think Devin's and Emily are some big, and Aubrey. There's some big threats still in the game.
Yeah, if I'm Suri, I'm thinking that, okay, I have Ozzy and Rizzo and probably Tiff now.
And Tiff,
so that's
for
4.
sure.
And and Suri still has her extra vote.
Yes.
So I think Suri, still has a relationship with Aubrey. They could be thinking, we have enough to get rid of Devins and Emily down the road.
Exactly.
Do we target Jonathan now, take him out, and then we still have the numbers to get rid of Emily?
Yeah. But then where does Joe come in? I think Joe and Tiffany are still pretty tight.
And then Joe told Suri, like Stephanie's plan.
Yep.
So
exactly.
Yeah. I'm just wondering who goes home next.
Yeah. I think the target should still be Aubrey, Emily, and Devin.
Yeah. So we'll have to wait and see if Rick actually has an idol. I just seem to think that he does.
Oh, another thing I thought, because Aubrey and Tiffany were really tight at some point. Did that change? Because I don't see much interaction with them anymore. And then Aubrey chose Rizzo for the share and auction item.
Yeah,
and not
I wonder.
Tiff.
But I wonder if that had to do with like knowing that one person had chaos, one person had comfort. Like
True.
She didn't want to do it. And if you noticed, after Tiff won immunity, Aubrey was the one who came off the bench and gave her a hug.
Gave her a hug. That's true.
So that's why I think Aubrey could, like, if you want to take advantage of Aubrey for another couple votes.
Yeah.
Then like Tiffany and Suri like play nice with Aubrey, and get her on her side, and then
take
get
out
rid of
Jonathan,
Devins, Emily, and then probably Joe.
Yeah, true.
So hey, we've already got it mapped out. No need to watch the rest of the season,
right?
Folks.
But then Joe is my number one pick, but I can see like once Jonathan's gone, Joe's a pretty strong challenge beast.
Yeah, he's already won multiple individual immunities.
So if they don't get him out soon, he could win out.
No, we got to get rid of him so Ozzy can get this record, tie this record.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's so good. So good.
All right, well.
Wait, one more thing though.
Yeah.
On the preview for next week, Emily's like, I think I can convince him to play it for me. So do you think she's talking about Devin's idol?
If I'm Rick and I find out what it is, I don't tell anyone. But again, everyone's telling everyone this week. Does she think that she's going to try to convince? There's no way she's convincing Ozzy to do anything for her.
Yeah.
So he's either got to be talking about Rizzo
or Devin.
Or Devins. Yeah. Or someone wins individual immunity and like she says like trying to get him to give it up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Sri's on the season. No one's going to convince anyone. They've seen what she's done.
Yeah, that was a little teaser. So we'll see if Emily's trying to flip-flop.
Yeah. I think she's going to get flipped. On Survivor fantasy between Tasha and John. John keeps losing players. But still have a slight lead. Thank you to Rick getting a few bonus points with that. But now you have I have no idea how this is this crazy. But Team Tasha remains with all of her first 4 picks of Joe, Suri, Tiffany, Aubrey, and then along with Emily. Team John has lost his top 3 picks, but still has Rick, Ozzy, Jonathan, and Rizzo. So
all challenge beasts.
Yeah, but I'm worried. I think you've got more people who will probably end up making it to the Final 4. So I could be, eating all of my words.
How far am I behind now?
4 points.
Whew. How far? What was the biggest deficit? Like 20?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! I didn't think I was coming. You were saying that.
No, yeah, way back heavy. I'm just like, especially as people get the points for winning individual immunity, and then almost whoever has the most people in the Final 4 will probably end up winning the game.
Okay.
So
heating up.
That does it for me. Any other thoughts for you after this amazing episode?
Yeah, I will say this episode made up for last week. Not that last week's episode was bad, it just wasn't as action packed. But this one, oh my gosh, It was amazing.
No, I thought
loved
it was a lot of Survivor craziness.
Yes.
The right amount of cameo.
Yes.
And sorry to see another Survivor great go, but it was a very entertaining episode all around.
I agree. Season 50 is turning out to be one of my favorites.
All right. Well, this podcast is one of my favorites, so thank you for listening in. Anyone who is, sorry if I'm exhausted, but that's the fault of the St. Justin 6th grade last night. I hope everyone has a good week, and we will be back next week.
Bye.